Welcome back to Willoughby Park here, part of our PACWEST doubleheader as the Langara Falcons take on the Vancouver Island University Mariners. The men's coming up just shortly, but before we get to kickoff here, let's welcome in goalkeeper coach Kevin Monk, of course a Langara alumni himself. Kev, thanks so much for joining us here in the booth. And just before we look ahead to this matchup here against the Mariners, take us back. Victory against Douglas. Enrique Claros back in the lineup, gets his goal. What did that do for spirits around the locker room?
It's always good. Douglas is a good team. They've got lots of talent. I don't think that the standings in the league are very indicative of the quality they have. So getting a result against them any day is always a big positive. And Enrique back, huge for the team. Big veteran presence. You know, I'm sure a lot of the guys also, David coming back, getting a full game in there too. We had a lot of good spirits after that.
Cool. Just before we get to the opposition, the Mariners coming up here in just a few minutes, I'd be remiss if we didn't bring on a goalkeeper coach and not talk about some goalkeeping. We got Zian Clark-Ishmael making his first start of the season. Of course, he did some backup work last year. You're the goalkeeper coach. What have you seen from the lad? What has he done to work himself into this starting lineup, and what's the future looking like?
Well, he was put in a kind of a tough spot. Him and Adriel both performed quite comparable during the preseason. Both done very well. Zian's got an incredible work ethic, superb teammate, great guy to coach. So it was only fair for us to give him some game time at some point during the regular season. You never know what's going to happen. So having a goalkeeper with experience, able to play with the pressure of college soccer before we get to the high pressure games like the provincials, it's always massive.
Now you guys are coming up against the Vancouver Island University, who we know are no pushover. They took care of business quite handily against Cap 3-0. So the young keeper definitely, he might have his mitts warmed up sooner than he might have liked. What can we expect from the opposition and their tactics?
Yeah, I know VIU is a good team. They got lots of size, lots of skill. Luckily for us, they don't have their captain, Michael, so that'll be a big add for us. But you can't count out any other players. They got tons of quality there, and we got to be on our A game for sure.
Goalkeeper coach Kevin Monk, former Langara player himself. Thank you so much for joining us here in the booth, and good luck to you, the lads, and Mark Rosato down on bench level.
Awesome, thanks.
Awesome. There you have it. Kevin Monk joining us from up here in the booth. We are here at Willoughby Park, the second of our PACWEST doubleheader. The women dropping the first encounter 2-0 to VIU, and the men will have a little chance of revenge here. We'll get the starting 11s to you just shortly. We mentioned those results. VIU taking care of business against Cap earlier this weekend, 3-0, while the Langara Falcons, they defeated Douglas College, I should say, with Enrique Claros getting a goal in his return matchup. The national anthems are in the books. Let's get you those starting 11s. First for the visiting Mariners, in goal, number 27, Cody Carter. In the outfield, number 4, Luis Goldbrunner. Number 6, Matt Coburn. Number 10, Grayson Chalifu. Number 11, Kenneth Joliffe. Number 14, Ashton Bryant. Number 15, Danny McCaskill. Number 18, Brian Bland. Number 23, Kaylin Lewis. Number 24, Charlie Smith. And number 26, Josh Rayner. And of course, they're led by head coach Kevin Lindo. They'll be playing from left to right on your stream today. They'll be wearing all black with a little white and blue trim. The opposition, the host today, the Langara Falcons, coming off that victory over Douglas, making his debut in between the sticks, as you just heard Kevin Monk, goalkeeper coach, talk about. Zian Clark-Ishmael, the number 1 in between the sticks. The outfield, number 3, Hikaru Omura. And number 6, Kazuki Nakanishi. Number 7, Beckham Hatch. Number 9, Enrique Claros. Number 12, Haruto McKelvey. Number 16, Owen Holscher. Number 17, Zion Adlam. Number 18, Takaru Kaku. Number 19, Taigo Shimada. And number 23, one of my favorite players to watch, usually wearing the captain's armband as well, David Rodriguez Zagara. They are led by head coach Mark Rosato. The Falcons are wearing their all whites with a little bit of orange and black trim as well. They'll be playing from right to left on your stream. Once again, a big thanks to Kevin Monk for joining us here in the pregame. We always love it when the coaches from the men's or the women's side come up and give us a little bit of insight, especially after a victorious outing on the weekend, because let's face it, interviews and spirits are boosted a little bit better when everybody's in a good mood and they don't have to talk about open wounds, let's say here. This should be a very lively encounter as VIU, they score goals. Yeah, they score goals. So we'll see if Langara can button it up at the back with Adlam, Kaku, McKelvey, Omura, and Shimada in the mix as well. It's gray, it's gloomy here at Willoughby Park in Langley, BC. The rain held off for the women in the early matchup. Of course, Langara dropping 2-0 to VIU. The wind didn't hold up. It was a quite windy encounter in that early one, but it's calmed down. It's a little bit more still now. But the forecast here in Langley, which last time I looked was, I think, a high of 17, and they were calling for showers around 4 o'clock today. I'm already starting to see some little spittles on the screen of my phone in the upper decks here of Willoughby Park. And we'll see if the rain will play ball, no pun intended. Early throw-in for VIU comes off the head of Grayson Chalafu, and it's won back by Shimada. Play up the left touchline from VIU as they try and cook it across. Now they're looking for the pacey Grayson Chalafu to get on the end of it. It's taken care of, though, by Hatch. And it'll be a deep throw-in the Langara end near the right corner flag. It'll be number 14 to come across to take it, Ashton Bryant. One thing I will say about Chalafu as well is he's got pace, he's got some upper body to him, some serious muscle, but he's also rocking probably one of the sweetest mullets you'll see on a soccer field this side of the 1980s. My goodness me, what a head of hair. Chalafu on the ball now, spreads it to his left. McCaskill sends it up the left-hand side for Kenneth Joliff to chase. He almost got there, and he's won a corner. Good play there by the 11, who looked like he was fighting a bit of a lost cause there for a second, but managed to pop it off the defender and win a corner kick for his club on the left side, right by the concession stand. Over here at Willoughby Park, the home of Vancouver FC in the CPL, also on the same grounds as the Langley Event Center, home of the Vancouver Giants as well as the Vancouver Bandits Basketball Club as well. It'll be a right-footed in-swinger here for the Mariners. Right into the 6-yard box as well. The young keeper comes out, Clark Ishmael, and punches away. Number 18 has a rip from distance. Brian Bland, he got way underneath that one. And that goes past the security, or I should say the safety meshing behind the net and up into row ZZ of Section O here at Willoughby Park. Lost and perhaps never to be found again. First goal kick of the match for Clark Ishmael. Good nod down there by Luis Goldbrunner. Shimada forward for Rodriguez Zagara, who takes and turns, plays infield for, I believe that was Nakanishi, who did a very good job of just keeping play moving there. Takaru Kaku, who was on the score sheet last weekend as well. And a thorough victory. Ball over the top, offside, as it was Owen Holscher who also scored last weekend. Looked to be offside, to be fair, but a couple white shirts were queuing up there, and that's one warning signal that I think the Mariners will be happy that they got off scot-free with, as they all were definitely beat there, just not for position. VIU just trying to play themselves out of danger. Back to the goalkeeper, Cody Carter now, in the bright neon green with the black shoulder pads. This is his opposite number, Clark Ishmael, wearing a teal or a seafoam kind of color, whatever you got here. I was actually handed the 2024 soccer uniform colors, the PACWEST document before this one, so no more guessing for me. I'm in the know now. I know the fashion choices before they come down the runway. Number 23, Kaylin Lewis, who has the shocking blue hair. Definitely stands out for the broadcasters. We love that. He's the strapping 23 in the center back of defense for the Mariners. Califu now. Almost dispossessed by Beckham Hatch. Nakanishi on his man now, Josh Rayner. Good through ball there, finds Ashton Bryant. He'll cut back for Rayner. Rayner thinking about skimming in across, but he'll pop it to his right. Again for Ashton. The 14 Ashton Bryant, who's putting up a good chase here, making life hard for Beckham Hatch and Nakanishi. Good play there by Holster. Tried to get it back for Nakanishi, but it was an awkward heighted ball. VIU, though, managed to somewhat set up shop here in the Langara half, all the way back now to the right back, number 6, Matt Coburn. Good interception there by, I believe it was Shimada. It was. Laid off for Rodriguez Zagara now. Overlapping run, or inside run, I should say, of Enrique Claros. It didn't get picked out. Beckham Hatch has made his way up the park, and he's a dangerous winger on his quiet days. Hatch now, can he float in across? It's a low, hard one. Almost comes across the face of the area, but it's side-footed away by Coburn. Califu deals with it nicely, only as far as Brian Bland, though, who's in a real dogfight with Nakanishi at the moment. Ooh, good play there by Rodriguez Zagara as he just gets around the outside of Ashton Bryant. Good covering run there, or defending, I should say, by Matthew Coburn. Coburn waiting for options here. That seemed like an eternity for him to dish that ball, but he just didn't have anything, and the patience paid off because he found two really quick seams, and now here comes VIU on the break with Bland. Bland taking on McKelvey, gets to the outside. He has some space to put in across. He'll take a touch. Instead, he keeps going to the goal line, floats it all the way across, cuts it all the way across, flies out the opposite side of the area for McCaskill. That'll come off Shimada, another corner kick from the far left-hand side of the attacking end of the Nanaimo-based University Club, the Mariners. And number 26, Josh Rayner, will make his paces over there to put in some dangerous service if you're a Mariners fan, hopefully. 8 minutes in, no real chances to speak of just yet. And the number 11 making life hard, Joe Liff, making life hard on the young keeper, Clark Ishmael, right in his kitchen, standing on the goal line. See if that distracts the youngster. Good clearance there by Nakanishi. It was a sloppy corner, to be fair, but Nakanishi read it the whole way and plays it all the way up the park. It gives Langara a chance to push up their lines. Good ball there by Kalen Lewis. Langara are playing a very defensive approach right now, and it's not necessarily a man mark. It's kind of a zonal, and just seems like lanes are opening up for VIU left, right, and center. Good play there by Holscher. It's a good ball win there again, though, by Lewis, who looked like Holscher had him beat for position, but he just stuck the leg between his legs and dispossessed him. Coburn. Inside. Can only get it as far as Beckham Hatch. It's a rash challenge, and Hatch will get thumped over by Bryant. And it's a dangerous free kick. I thought Hatch might have just been able to keep him at bay and whip in that cross, but instead they'll get some numbers and some time to suss this one out. Will the men in white? Rodriguez Zagara standing over this one, right-footed. Every white shirt is in the box except for Shimada and Omura. And it's only a two-man wall. Rodriguez Zagara might try and whip this one in near side if he can wrap his foot around it. It's a difficult angle. He puts it right into the heart of the area. It's headed clear by Coburn, only to the top of the box. Omura heads it back into the danger zone. Again, Coburn, who's been easily the busiest of the defenders so far, he hooks it clear. It's retrieved by Omura, who rolls it 10 yards into the path of Zagara. Rodriguez Zagara, and now back for Omura, who pings almost a perfect diagonal ball. He's looking for Nakanishi. It fell onto the head of Kaku, and Shimada will fly in to win the pieces. Nakanishi, right-footed cross off the face of McCaskill, and it'll be a throw-in near the right corner flag, Section Z here at Willoughby Park. Into the penalty box for, I want to say that was Enrique Claros, who hasn't had a ton of touches early here. Now Adlam gets himself up the right touchline and almost whips in across. Rodriguez Zagara shields his man. It's a good tackle, though, by Rayner. Zagara stands his corner, and he'll concede the throw-in. Bit of head tennis on that left touchline. I'd say it's McCaskill who comes away from the scrum with that one into the path of Chalifu. Good play now there by Rayner. Finds Bland. But a good backtracking tackle from McKelvey puts it out, and it'll be I believe a deep throw-in, or will it be a corner kick? Looks like a corner kick. Danny McCaskill, the number 15. It'll be a left-footed in-swinger this time. And he's got Bland coming short. Hit right to the top of the six. Chalifu has a time to take a touch. He's going to unleash one on the left foot, but just opened up his body a bit too much, and that one was no problem whatsoever for Clark Ishmael. Kaku. Shimada. Beg your pardon, that's McKelvey on this near left side for Hatch. Ooh, Nakanishi got away with one there, or maybe he didn't. We'll see what happens here in the dying embers. He tried to play a cross-seam ball to switch it, and he had a black shirt right in front of him. It was intercepted. It'll be another corner kick from the far left-hand side, with Josh Rayner over to whip this one in. This one has some float to it. It's right to the edge of the six, and it's the tall center back, Lewis, that got the highest for it, but he actually nodded it back towards his own area. Zagara now on the dribble, plays it forward for Hatch. He can't get there ahead of Chalifu. Chalifu plays it back. Bryant. Beckham Hatch really making life hard for the keeper there, Cody Carter. It's a good high press there by Langara, definitely keeping the back line of the Mariners honest here. Good layoff there by Bland. Chalifu stood on the ball just for a second. Good slide tackle there by McKelvey. Chalifu just dwelt on it a bit too long, and it's a shame he had Rayner there in a favorable position. Ball crossed into the back post, looking for the piercing run of Enrique Claros, but he just couldn't get body position on Kalen Lewis. Beckham Hatch picks off a pass from Coburn, lays it into the path of Omura. He tried a first-time 10-yarder for Claros. It was pounced upon, though, by Lewis. And here come the Mariners the other way now. Great switch of play there. Great ball across. Joliffe in the box, taking on Adlam. Squares it up. First-time shot blocked. And Bland still looking for the pieces. He just couldn't uncork one there. Good defending by the last line of defense of Langara. But the club from Nanaimo are really starting to cook here. Here comes Rayner. Cuts back to his right. He's clipped by Rodriguez-Zagara, and that'll be a free kick. Probably about 25 yards out, dead central. And this might be the first real test for young Clark Ismail in net for the Falcons. No wall yet to assemble. It's Coburn or Rayner sizing this one up. It looks like it might be Coburn. He looks like he wants to blast this one. It's a four-man wall, and it's not the tallest players. It goes up, it goes over, and it probably had a good 7 feet of lift over Clark Ismail's crossbar. No trouble there for the young keeper. And the Mariners spurn what could have potentially been one of their better chances of the half so far. It looks like one of those games where you might not see a ton of gilt edge chances. It might have to be something magical from a free kick or a set piece. Unfortunately, that one didn't pay off for the right back, Coburn. If you're just joining us, this is the second match of a PACWEST doubleheader here today at Willoughby Park in Langley, BC. Langara hosting, VIU from the island. The women dropping a 2-0 decision probably about an hour ago. Whereas the men just kicked off 16, 17 minutes in now. And no real chances to speak of so far outside of that last perhaps free kick. And you can hear Mark Rizzardo, the head coach of the Falcons, on the crowd mic just down below, bellowing to his players to get up the park. They have been sitting a little bit deep, and as I mentioned, they're kind of playing a little bit of a zonal defense right now, and the Mariners just seem to be having their way as far as finding seams, finding lanes, picking out fellow teammates. Scrappy play by the right corner flag. It's headed clear by Kaku, who then sees Shalafu's shot deflect off his right foot and almost handcuff Clark Ismail. Good reflexes there. As Langara just seemed to be a step off of it at the minute. VIU are winning these battles, and they just need to settle into it and find a bit of rhythm. Usually Beckham Hatch is the man to unlock things for the Falcons moving forward, especially up these right touch lines, but he's been kind of forced to defend alongside McKelvey so far in this opening 19 minutes or so. Shimada now. Shimada was on the score sheet last weekend as VIU, or I beg your pardon, as Langara took care of Douglas. Nakanishi, 10-yarder into the feet of Claros. Back for Adlam. Can he put it across? No, he's going to play it up the right channel for Shimada. He's got Lewis draped on him. Infield for Claros. Back for Adlam now. Still going Adlam. Good left-footed pass there. He finds Beckham Hatch just on the edge of the area. Hatch right where he wants to be in his office, going for a dribble, gets past his man, cuts it back. Only as far as, I believe it was Holscher, who swung a left foot at it, but all he could do was clatter his effort into the back of Coburn's legs. It'll be a foul, and the Mariners will get a chance to retort. Best spell of play so far there, I'm going to say, for the Falcons, as they passed it around with intent. They got the ball moving fastly, and for me, they got to get it to the foot of Beckham Hatch as often as they can. With Bajgare not in the lineup today, they might have to lean on Hatch a lot for the creativity. Him and Rodriguez-Zagara, Nakanishi, Shimada. Goal kick there. Good effort, though, from Holscher on the far side. Langara's looked their best when they've been able to use that high press and just shrink the gaps down on the Mariners and create some havoc in and around the penalty box. Adlam. Gets it to Shimada by the goal line. All he can do is try and force Lewis into a bit of an error. As subs for both squads now get off their dugout bench and make their paces. It's Enrique Claros. I don't think he saw how much options he had. He had 2 or 3 late runs coming into the top of the box, and he must have saw that top right corner because he tried to scoop it in on the left foot instep. And once again, the Mariners play it short and give it away. This could be a real opportunity for Langara, and it is probably the first real chance of the match as Holscher hits his effort straight at the keeper. He probably could have done a bit better. He was trying to hit through a couple seas of legs, but the Mariners will have to watch themselves playing out of the back, as that's been one area that's put them into a spot of trouble early in this one, as Holscher and Beckham Hatch have been all over some of those clearances. Zagara now wins the ball back. Ooh, he put his center back Kaku into a bit of a spot. Charlie Smith, the tall number 24 for the Mariners, wins the ball deep inside the Langara half. 22 minutes in, 0-0, but the best chance of the match just falling to Holscher moments ago. The corner played short to Bland. He's going to try and whip one on the left foot. It's a dangerous one. It was swerving towards the heart of the 6-yard box. Chalafu has an effort as well. That one on the half volley took a skip off the turf, which thankfully didn't knuckle up on Clark Ismail, and it settled into the keeper's hands. It's a long drop kick out. No one up for the second ball for the Mariners, though, and that first headed win just goes right back to Langara, who are starting to find their rhythm in this game. Long diagonal from Nakanishi finds Shimada on the far right corner flag. He's going to take on Chalafu, who just seems to be all over the park right now. He's run a mile in these early stages. Omura to Rodriguez Zagara. And now a ball into that right channel for Claros. It just had too much zip on it, and Omura knows it. He'll throw up his hand in apology. Cody Carter just marching his troops forward. He didn't want to play with fire anymore out of the back. And I can't say I blame him. The last half dozen attempts or so did not look comfortable for the Mariners. They needed something a little bit more pragmatic. And you know what? The aerial route might not be the worst, because I'm looking at some of these midfielders for the Mariners, and there's some tall lads between the number 24 Smith, number 26 Rayner. They've got some serious ball-winning threats from aerial challenges in the middle of the park, and maybe a little bit of lifted service might be the way home. We've had a challenge just down below us as like Beckham Hatch got wiped out by Bland. An interesting call there, as it looked like it was definitely a Rodriguez Zagara ball just down below us, but the referee and linesman, a judge that the Mariners have come away with it. Nakanishi wins it back. Ooh, and that's a risky challenge from Rayner. He just about got Nakanishi there. Beckham Hatch Spreads it wide for Shamada. He's clipped from behind by Shalafu, though, and Hatch is taking a battering at the moment. He's had to peel himself up off the turf a couple times now. This time more centrally and in a more favorable position. Close to 30 yards out, though. Might not be close enough for somebody to smash in a shot, but perhaps some back post service for the likes of an Adlam. Rodriguez Zagara is going to go for a shot. He caught the keeper napping. He just misplay his shot, though. The keeper was by his right post trying to line up his wall, and Rodriguez Zagara hit it. He just hit it a little bit too, not half-hearted. He just didn't have the precision I don't think he wanted. And it ended up being just an easy clutch and claim for Cody Carter. Adlam now in a real fight. And he's won a corner. Will be a right-footed outswing, I believe, from Josh Rayner. This one right into the heart of the 6-yard box. Clark Ismail came for it. He punched, but he didn't get anywhere close to it. There's been a few of those instances here earlier for the number one in the sticks for the Falcons, where he's come out to claim, and unfortunately he's been left swatting at butterflies. Rayner, can he put in another cross? He cuts back to his right foot, tried to put it into the path of Shalafu. Rayner retrieves it again. Cross from the left-hand side, and it's the number 24, Charlie Smith, rising the highest, but he was always kind of leaning back, and all he can do is nod his effort over the top. "28 minutes into this one. If you're just joining us, second match of our PACWEST doubleheader between VIU and the hosts, Langara. Only one real chance to speak of so far in this matchup. And it was a Owen Holscher shot that was stopped just outside the 6-yard box. Enrique Claros, great play there. Dishes for Rodriguez Zagara, now forward for Beckham Hatch. Can he get there? He can. Just in range for the number 7. Cuts back once, twice. Thought he would go to the goal line again. It's been his bread and butter so far in this one. Back for Zagara now. Can he put in a cross? No. Laterally for Amura. Back for Hatch. He's got nothing but time and space now, Hatch. He whips it in. Left-footed. It's hard. It's across the area. Zagara sizes up on the left foot. Takes a shot, and he screws it away from the far left post of Carter's net. Excellent movement of the ball there from Amura. Beckham Hatch. It was just Rodriguez Zagara that couldn't really get the ball out of his feet to spank a truly powerful shot towards net, and it ends up being easy pickings for Carter. Undercover here at the top of our broadcast location here at Willoughby Park. It is starting to rain now, as predicted. The forecast that said it would be around 4 p.m. Pacific, but it's come an hour early. And it's now starting to just spit down from above. We'll see how that affects proceedings down at field level. At the moment, it's nothing major. Nothing to write home about for sure if you're a BC resident anyways, but we'll keep our eye on it. Bland gets a two-hander from McKelvey. That forces him all the way back to, I believe it's Ashton Bryant. Good play there, though, by the trident of Mariners in the middle of the park. Shalafu now. Back across the area. Josh Rayner, right-footed shot, just wide. It should be 1-0. It's a fantastic rip from Rayner. It's inches away. Clark Ismail looked like he did have it covered, but Rayner just outside the 18-yard box. He had his head down, and he buried that one. It was a great little spell of play from the Mariners, who got the ball swiftly up the park. Decent rip from Rayner as well. Best chance of the match for the Mariners. Rayner loses the aerial challenge to Rodriguez Zagara. Lewis comes away with it. McCaskill. Infield for Rayner. He gets thumped off of it by Enrique Claros, who himself gets dispossessed. And the Mariners will have another crack moving forward. A misplaced pass, though, doesn't do them any favors. And Takeru Kaku will take it for the Falcons. Beckham Hatch gets past his man. Thought about whipping it forward. He did for Amura, but Amura showed shirt. He heard the voice calling for the ball, but perhaps just couldn't have judged the distance. He smashed it for a through ball when Amura wanted it 10 yards ahead of him. Miscommunication between the two in the white shirts. 30 minutes ticks over here, about 15 to go in this first half. It looks like it might be one of those cagey games. Not a lot of opportunities so far, and compared to games past we've seen here at Willoughby Park, it might be a little bit of a nail-biter. Clark Ismail, great off of his line. He read that one to a T, and he had to be spot on as Josh Rayner was all alone in that right channel, and had he clipped it around Clark Ismail, that might have been curtains. Bryant for VIU. Charlie Smith showed short and then tried to play in Shalafu. Kaku takes the ball short and then realized he's in a bit of pressure, so goes back to the keeper. Ooh, good roll there by Claros. He just couldn't get to the opposite side of Lewis, who himself misplaces his pass. That's becoming a nice little duel there. The number 9 in white and the number 23 in black. Great ping diagonal. I believe it's Amura who smashed that one, trying to get to Beckham Hatch, and a little bit of theatrics there, I think, by Ashton Bryan. And Beckham Hatch said, "Oh, come on now. Behave." And I think Bryan was like, "Okay, you win." Pulls him back up. No foul, no yellow card, and no drama or handbags afterwards, so it's all good. And the lads will play on. The rain really starting to increase here at Willoughby Park. Probably tough to see on the stream right now, and it's not coming down in buckets or sideways or windy or anything like that, but some umbrellas now starting to pop up on the far side. You see some hoods drawn as well in the supporter section. That is one thing you worry about in sometimes outdoor stadiums here in Vancouver, especially with some of the fair weather fans, is can they handle the rain? Can they handle the truly harsh conditions and come out to a match and cheer on their club? Or do they like the cushy overhang with the VIP seating and the very expensive drinks? Great play up the left touchline. I believe it's McCaskill who rakes in a left-footed cross. It flashed across the face of goal. It had some kind of sting on it, just not enough swerve to find the on-rushing, I believe it was Brian Bland at the back post. Good turn by Omura. He's put himself into a bit of trouble now, though, Omura. Here comes Charlie Smith. Good make-up tackle by Omura, though, as might have had a bit of egg on his face there had Smith buried that one. Just clips him from behind to Smith as well. Omura dragged back by the corner flag. About 10 minutes to go in the half here. Adlam up the touchline for Rodriguez Zagara. He cuts infield. Great ball up the middle of the park from Adlam. Holscher does just enough to hold it, gets it to Beckham Hatch, albeit slightly behind him. Langara need to press up their lines. Hatch now, cross comes shot. Did the goalkeeper get a touch? He didn't. Cody Carter had to be spot on, though. He couldn't take any chances and just watch that one. He wanted to make sure he was right there in case he needed to make an intervention. So it's cool keeping from the number 27 in highlighter neon green for the Mariners. Good knockdown there by Charlie Smith. Unfortunately, Josh Rayner just outpaced his mate a little bit there. Put it too far ahead of him. Adlam had it covered. And Langara get the ball back. Omura now, who got burned before, went right back to the well dribbling there, and thankfully this time he was a little bit cleaner with it. Nakanishi gets it. Plays it to the left for McKelvey. Back for Nakanishi. Left-footed clip over the back line, looking in between the channel where Claros and Hatch were battling it out with Bryant and Lewis. Good play by Nakanishi there, but there's nobody on the end of it. Oof. Nakanishi comes in from behind on, I believe it was Luis Goldbrunner. Clever outside of the foot ball into the feet of Charlie Smith, who once again has a very good layoff. Shalafu, though, on the subsequent through ball for McCaskill, just couldn't get it right and put too much zip on it. That's kind of been the story of the evening for the young Mariners, as they've made the runs, they've busted their guts, they've won the ball back, they're working the 1-2s. It's just that final threaded pass is just a yard or two ahead of the forward running vertical player, and they just can't reel it in. I'd probably have to say over the course of the evening, or late afternoon, depending on what time you go to bed, the Mariners have probably been the better of the two passing teams here today as far as the 1-2s finding their teammates in space and what have you, but Langara have probably been the more direct and the more pragmatic and probably have the better of the final third looks, I'd say. I mean, that high press has certainly helped the Falcons, and the Mariners have played themselves into trouble while trying to get out of the back on the deck. But I think if chances created, Langara probably have the better of the chances, but I'd probably tip the actual possession itself to the Mariners. Long floated diagonal to Beckham Hatch from Kaku. Good takedown as well from Hatch. It was a clean touch. And now he's going to put one over top for Nakanishi, and Nakanishi's going to get there. Well-timed ball. Nakanishi, can he get a left-footed shot? It's a great tackle from Coburn, and it needed to be, as he just threw his right leg at it. Nakanishi would have needed to blast it on the left to get anything. I think he was waiting for some options there. Excellent tackle there from Matt Coburn, who probably been the busiest of the defenders so far early in this one, alongside Kalen Lewis, who now is serving as a shoe tire inside the 6-yard box, just giving his keeper, Cody Carter, a little bit of a hand. It's not easy to tie shoelaces with goalkeeper gloves, let me tell you. As a man who's never tried it and just thought about it, it looks hard. Here comes the corner kick. It'll be Beckham Hatch, right-footed in-swinger. With about 7 minutes to go here in this first half, can Langara cash it in early here? Headed away by Bryant. Adlam was the closest. The pieces for Mura. He plays a bit of a halfway ball back from Beckham for Beckham Hatch, and I think if Bryant weights that ball just a bit better, it's a 2-on-1 for Bland and Joliffe against the last man back, who I believe was Shimada there. Starting to open up a bit here. Throw in from McKelvey, helped on by Hatch, who's asking for a two-hander on the back. Doesn't get the luck, does Hatch. And the referee will instruct Bryant all the way back to Coburn, and the Mariners have a chance to reset themselves here with about 5 minutes to go in the half. Can't imagine a ton of added time either, as we haven't seen any knocks. It's been a fairly good pace, much like the first half of the women's match earlier today. They've kept it moving, have the lads. Good play there by Rodriguez Zagara, who planted and took in turn. Unfortunately, I think he got a piece of Shalafu there. The referee didn't say anything. It says play on. Shalafu's in some discomfort, though. Beckham Hatch, top of the box. Nakanishi has it square. Nakanishi left-footed rip. Ooh, it took a clip off Goldbrunner's heel, and I thought it might have wrong-sided Cody Carter. It was hit with some kind of pace, too, by Nakanishi. And Rodriguez Zagar, after spinning his man Chalafu, will go back and give him a bit of an apology there. It was nothing malicious from either player. They were both trying to dig in that heel so they could spin their man, and I think maybe Rodriguez's heel just clipped the Achilles of Chalafu ever so slightly. You heard a war cry kind of when contact was made. There was a shriek from down at field level, so he definitely got a piece of him, and Chalafu has taken to one knee here for the last couple of minutes, and we might need to see a substitution, or perhaps just a quick look at from the dock at field level. And it's a shame for the Mariners because Chalafu, he's been buzzing. He's been running around everywhere. He's covered a lot of ground between him and Kalen Lewis. They've done a boatload of running here in this first half. Josh Rayner as well. They've been very mobile. Well, just hopefully the number 10 for the Nanaimo-based club will be okay to continue, because I can't imagine the coach, Kevin Lindo, wants to upset his tactics this early. The rain really starting to come down now. Looks like Chalafu will just get a wee help off. Looks like Chalafu will be okay. He's not rocking a crazy hobble. And the Mariners will have a chance to put in some free kick service actually here if Kalen Lewis can size it up properly. Looks like he's got the crosshairs set. And they will. They're going to play a long aerial ball into, looks like Josh Rayner. Adlam behind him, though, rises highest to win it. And then Bland goes for a bit of that was entertaining is what that was. That was a bit of an embellishment. Thankfully, the referee let him off with just a stern look. I believe it was the number 18 Bland. You don't know until you try, though. What can you say? And perhaps he was clipped. Rayner now tries to skip away from Nakanishi. Does so. Joliffe and Rayner cross their wires, and now Rodriguez Zagara pings it forward for Holscher to chase. At the very least, it will relieve a bit of pressure and get the Falcons up the park in a deep throw-in, as you hear their coaching staff being led by Mark Rosardo instructing the troops to march up their line and try and hem in those Mariners. 2 minutes to go here, plus stoppage, and probably a couple extra minutes after Grayson Chalafu took a bit of a crunch moments ago. Enrique Claros. Good nod laterally by Omura. Beckham Hatch has Bryant all over him. Chalafu now back into the fray. Great switch by Rodriguez Zagara. Adlam cross into the box. Goes over the head of Holscher. It looked like Omura might have been able to get there. McKelvey shields the ball and then gets bear hugged from behind by Bland, he's had a bit of a magical mystery tour from the left-hand side in the penalty box moments ago to a rugby tackle on McKelvey just down below us. Claros. Omura. Beckham Hatch is going to do that trademark run to the goal line. No, he goes back for Omura, who looks like he wants to open up his body. No, he goes for a left-footed cross to the back post. Shimada! Oh, he misses. Oh, Shimada was wide open at the back post, and all he had to do is direct it towards goal. From this angle, it looked like he roofed it in the near post, and I was going to say, my goodness, that's about as professional a goal as you're going to see. Unfortunately for Shimada, he just perhaps tried to get too precise with it, and he doesn't even end up putting it on net. Real chance there from Langara, probably their best since Holscher had a shot saved in and around the 17th minute or so, I believe. 15 seconds to go. If Langara can get a late one here, that does wonders for their chances into the second half. Knocked down by Claros. for Rodriguez Zagara. Clips it over his man. Great play by Rodriguez Zagara. Can he keep it alive for a bit of service now? He's got Kalen Lewis all over him like a cheap suit. He just can't shake him. It'll be a deep throw-in for the men in white. Probably would imagine we have 1 or 2 minutes added on for that knock on Chalifu. The Langara Falcons looking to make it an undefeated weekend. They took care of business against Douglas. And even a point here would be beneficial. Forward progress. Ball won down by Enrique Claros. Back for Adlam. Great touch there by Adlam. Can he cut back in across? Now again, Adlam goes for another bit of a dribble. He's still going, Adlam. Great layoff now. Nakanishi, they need to make this count for something. Unfortunately, it's just nodded away. Holscher was the closest to it. Good play there by the Falcons. They just need a little something extra to get it over the goal line. Referee points to halfway, and that is the first half in the books. A fairly even half as far as possession, but maybe a few extra gilt edge chances the way of the Langara Falcons. The PACWEST doubleheader now at the halftime of the men's match. That's still 0-0. The women's affair, VIU taking care of business 2-0 against the Langara ladies. We'll take a very quick 15-minute break, and we'll come back with the second half of this second match of the PACWEST doubleheader, live from Willoughby Park here in Langley, British Columbia, Canada. Welcome back to Willoughby Park here, the second match of our PACWEST double header here, as VIU, Vancouver Island University Mariners, from Nanaimo in town to take on the Langara Falcons. The women's match in the books, VIU taking that one 2-0 just into the second half now of the men's match, 0-0, as Langara made two substitutions to start the half. Number 25, Tyler McCall, coming into the fray, as well as number 15, the lively Kobe Monte. For VIU, only one substitution. They brought on number 9, Ori Fisher. VIU playing in their all-black strip with a little bit of blue and white piping and trim. They're playing from right to left on your stream. Meanwhile, the Langara Falcons, usually in all-black with a little bit of gray and orange. They're playing in their all-whites today with a little bit of black, orange, and gray trim as well. Beckham Hatch, who grew into that first half. He was tasked with defending alongside McKelvey for the first portion of it, as they look to quiet down the likes of Brian Bland and Grayson Chalafu. He got more involved as the game went on. The first real chance of the match fell to Owen Holscher after a giveaway at the back from the Mariners. Rodriguez Zagara also had an effort, Nakanishi as well, Shimada at the back post, so plenty of chances to be had for Langara. They just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. It was a little bit of a tougher slug for the Mariners, who had plenty of good passing, plenty of good possession, but couldn't really carve out any real opportunities. They had a couple dangerous free kicks in and around the penalty box, and Josh Rayner actually probably came the closest with an 18-yard blast that just knuckled wide of the debutante keeper for the Langara Falcons, Clark Ismail, had just wiggled past his far right poster. We might have been talking a different story here. Nonetheless, still 0-0, all to play for here. And, of course, both teams already in action this weekend. VIU thumped Cap 3-0, while Langara Falcons needed a Enrique Claros goal to get past Douglas. Both sides looking to keep up a 100% record for this weekend, or at least go undefeated. McCaskill with the throw-in, just in front of, Josh Rayner. Great feathered ball to the left for Rayner, finds Joliffe, who was a little bit quiet in that first half, but he picks out a good pass there for the number 24, Charlie Smith. He's clunked over. And they will have won a free kick, but I wonder if the referee might have opted for an advantage there, as it looked like it was Bryant who was screaming in down that right-hand side. He found a good little area to set up, and he was unmarked as everyone had kind of gotten sucked into that penalty arc. And this is a real chance for VIU, who I mentioned, one of their half chances anyways in that first half was a free kick. And this one is considerably closer. The other one was probably 30 yards out. And the rain has picked up here, so that'll make the surface a little bit slick. Keeper's mitts will be slick, and the vision will be limited. So it looks like Josh Rayner might try and size this one up. I can't see the number on the player standing to his right, and I wish I could. It looks like it'll be Rayner's, though. It will be. You can tell by the way he's sizing himself up. Beg your pardon, it's straight into the wall it's the number 15, McCaskill, who put the laces through that one. I think it came off the chest of Shimada, who's now smarting, and you can see Rodriguez Zagara, who's kind of having a wry chuckle at the whole situation. It's always funny when it happens to somebody else, not you, isn't it? 49th minute, 0-0. Some more umbrellas out at the park here at Willoughby Park, the home of Vancouver Football Club in the CPL, right next door to the Langley Event Center of the Vancouver Giants, and of course the Vancouver Bandits Basketball Club as well. So lots of sports going on here from the grassroots on up. All you have to do is march 5 minutes to the next field and you can see youth of all ages and the parents roaring loudly. So it's always a busy happening kind of time at Willoughby Park. Great layoff there by Rodriguez Zagara, who took it down on a dime before laying a deft little ball into the path of Takaru Kako, who had made a lung-busting run forward. Great dish there by Adlam. Shimada tries to get it to Rodriguez Zagara. Josh Rayner does just enough to slip away from him, and then Omura. I might have gone the other way with that one. It looked like Josh Rayner might have been boxed out by Omura there. Instead, the referee sees it that way. Oh, I beg your pardon. He did call it that way. I thought he was blowing it the way of Langara, but he has given it to the Mariners, and rightfully so. Kalen Lewis with the bright blue hair. He'll play it into the left channel, and Adlam kind of got hoodwinked by that one. Bamboozled, if you will. It just sent him inside and outside. Thankfully for him, he had enough cover there with Kaku and Shimada. Ooh, interesting pass there by Clark Ismail. He got away from it, too, as I think it was Charlie Smith had read that one and just was a toe length late to it. Omura had Rodriguez Zagara, but he went for a bit of an optimistic through ball there for Shimada. It got picked off easily. And then a swooped ball on the outside. I believe it's from McCaskill. He was looking for the on-running striker who just came on, Ori Fisher, to try and link onto that one, but it was always dragging away from the number 9 in black. Nakanishi now. Rodriguez Zagara. Omura on the dribble. Omura still going. Sprays it to his left for Kobe Monte. Monte going for a dribble. Puts on the Jets now. Monte, great slide tackle there by Bryant. Good ball win back there by Monte into the path of McKelvey. Langara looking a little bit more composed on the ball, and Kaku just gets crunched from behind. I want to say it's Charlie Smith who got a chunk of him. And the referee might have a stern word with the number 24. He's going to go and apologize to Kaku. Kaku did not want to have any of that, and sometimes when people step on you, you don't want to take the first apology that comes your way. It takes a little bit of healing. Let me tell you. Pass infield by Shimada. Quick worked 1-2. Excellent play. Shimada in the penalty box now. Shimada cuts it back. Low and hard. It's Omura who rips it over the bar. Great play there. And by the two white shirts, aided by number 25, Tyler McCall. He was in the mix as well. Excellent early chance there for Langara. Great intertwining, well-worked passing there by the Falcons. Thump ball into the middle of the park. Ori Fisher does very well to win the header down. Shalafu was in a bit of a joust for position with Nakanishi. Good ball by Nakanishi. It was a risky one. He had to go through two lines of black players to get there, but he did so. Well done. Adlam now on the deck. Return pass from Omura just let Adlam down ever so slightly. He snaps in to win the ball, though. Tyler McCall tries to knot it back for Adlam. It was just a little bit awkward to crane the neck that way for McCall. And now Kalen Lewis. It was not pretty by any stretch of the imagination. Adlam falls on the ball with his hand. He thought he was getting the foul. He was surprised to learn when he got up that it was going against him. And the Mariners have it just inside their own half. 54 minutes gone. Kalen Lewis. Lewis looking for options, not having a ton of success. Rayner eventually pops in. Good nutmeg there from Rayner. Keeps the run going. He's boxed up by Nakanishi, though. Kaku. Great little clip ball in from Kaku into the path of Rodriguez Zagara. It's helped on by Omura to the far side for Kobe Monte. Shalafu, who looks like he's been shot out of a cannon, though. Almost manages to chase it down. I'd like to see his miles logged, because this feels like he's been running since the first whistle non-stop. Lifted ball over the top, looking for Tyler McCall. It's knotted away. As far as Lewis, then a low, hard, stinging shot by Monte, who just ran onto that one and blasted it. Almost squeaks in near post. Shalafu dragged back by Omura. Foul. If you're just joining us, the second match of our PACWEST doubleheader here on this slippery Sunday. It is a little bit rainy here out in Langley. The women falling in a close encounter, 2-0 to VIU. The Langara women, that is. The men of Langara in action with the Mariners as we speak. This one 0-0. Best chance is probably falling to Langara so far, but nobody's really carved out anything crystal clear, to be fair. Ball over the top for McCall to chase. Can he get there? Beckham Hatch is also going to press the keeper. He'll take no chances and just plop it up into section AA of, or I should say row AA of section TS over on that far side. Nakanishi looking for a ball inside himself. Good ball there from Takaru Kaku. Finds Shimada. Can he get inside his man? He does. Good play by Shimada, he's jinking and he's jiving. He's got his dancing shoes on today, that's for sure. Kobe Monte takes the ball down. He's offside. Couldn't really tell from this near side. It looked like Monte had just kept himself onside, but the linesman begs to differ. The flag goes up. Nakanishi, great take, great turn. And a good dummy there from Omura for Rodriguez Zagara. On a dime return serve. Good job. Omura just steps on the ball ever so slightly. Perhaps some, I don't want to say rain buildup. I'm sure they've leveled out this pitch fairly well. Charlie Smith offside there by quite a bit as well. Good play there by McKelvey, who's tidily, quietly gone about his business today. Shimada loses out the header, but will actually win the throw-in. Shimada looking to get himself back on the score sheet. Of course, he scored in the rout of Douglas last weekend here at Willoughby Park after poking in a rebound. Nakanishi, he looked like he was going to go for a blaster. Instead, he feathers one in for Shimada. He's onside. Can he get it across? The flag is up. I think that might have been incorrect, if I'm not mistaken. I'd love to see a replay of that because he looked like he was well onside there, Shimada. When he was played through, it was initially Nakanishi who played it from the middle of the park. It rolled through 3 sets of legs, and Shimada was behind the last defender when he ran onto it, I'm pretty sure. I'd definitely love to see a clip of that one because that should be 1-0 for Langara if not for that offside flag because Beckham Hatch had it in the back of the net. I'm sure I'll get stick from the Referees Association after the game if I'm wrong with that one. But hopefully there's no burning torches and pitchforks waiting for the referees after that one. That looked very close, let's put it that way. It looked very close for my money. I think it should be the Langara Falcons up 1-0. We'll see if they can put their best foot forward and make amends for that one. The Mariners playing their way out of the back. Good interception there by Adlam. Only as far as Nakanishi. Oh, that was a risky pass back from Omura. He's put Nakanishi in a bad spot, and Omura had to foul him there. The referees played advantage. Now Kaku will get a chunk of him. You could argue Omura might have warranted a yellow card there because he definitely dragged down Charlie Smith after he had broken free after some sloppy passing from the Falcons, which is uncharacteristic for this half. The Falcons have been pretty clean in their possession and in their passing, so the one time it lets them down, it amounts to a very dangerous free kick here. It'll be Josh Rayner again. It'll also be McCaskill who took the last free kick. This time, Rayner chips it in, right-footed. Nobody there. It's knocked down by Nakanishi, though, which almost had some heart and throats there. I'm sure if you're a Langara fan. Great clip ball finds McCall. Can he switch it the width of the park? He's going to try. It loops up off McCaskill's shin, though. That's unfortunate for McCall, who had sized that one up pretty good. Would have taken some distance as well, as Beckham Hatch was the man running in at the back post, but good effort there from McCall, and it was an even better clearance from the Falcons as well. McCall now tries to take and turn on Lewis, but he just puts his big frame in the way and will stop that one. flies out the opposite side for McKelvey. Hatch. Nakanishi. On the deck for Rodriguez. Zagara, he goes for a left-footed rip, and it didn't have enough whip and bend on it to nestle up into Cody Carter's top right portion of his net. Stinging ball right up Main Street from Cody Carter, a great one, but the Mariners couldn't reel it in. And it seems like it's wave after wave of Falcons pressure at the moment. They need to put this in the back of the net, though, to appease Mark Rosardo. Good layoff there. Nakanishi in the penalty box. Tries to cut it across for Shimada. Shimada! Oh, his touch just got away from him. Shimada. Great intertwining play. And once again, it's Nakanishi linking up with Shimada. He just couldn't uncork the shot, though. He was in a sea of black legs. It was a good clearance as well by, I believe, the number 6, Matt Coburn. Adlam. He's going to have a long throw. Shimada jumps, doesn't get a touch to it, really. Still handcuffed a few Mariners defenders. It was McCall who was the closest to it. Less than 30 minutes to go here for either side to try and claim a winner. Don't you hate it when your pen rolls down into the stands when you're broadcasting from a very large distance? I know it's a pain few will have experienced, but let me tell you, it's like dropping your cell phone through like a crack on the street into like a gutter or something. I'm never going to see that pen again now. Yeah, it's gone. Oh well. Ball clipped over the top for, I believe it's Omura. No, it was Omura who clipped it over the top. He was looking for McCall. It didn't get there. It was Charlie Smith, or I beg your pardon. It was Goldbrunner, the tall number 4, who knotted it down, and now he'll play it to the right touchline for Shalafu. Shalafu, great ball in for Bryant. It's well covered by Omura, and he did just enough to shepherd that back to his keeper, Clark Ismail, as Bryant had a head full of steam. He hasn't gotten forward a lot in the second half. He did a lot in the first half, but man, did he come barreling in there and really cause some problems for the Falcons. Ooh, and that's a slip by Monte. Thankfully, he recovered. Now he gives the old shimmy and shake to Shalafu. It'll be a foul on the number 10 in black. Nakanishi. Adlam. Omura. Good weighted ball there for Kobe Monte. Monte's going to wait for recruits. He has Rodriguez Zagara, who wanted to go outside, but then Monte went outside, which kind of forced Zagara to put on the brakes ever so slightly. Monte's still going now. Tried to play it off the breadbasket of Bryant, but he did well, did Bryant, to just almost like absorb that ball so it didn't go out into touch. Clever defending there from the number 14. The Falcons still come away with it. It's been all possession for the Falcons, and it looks like we might have a triple sub coming up here for VIU, as I've seen 3 training bib-clad players hand their substitute sheets to the 4th official. We'll see what Kevin Lindo has in store here. His club have definitely been a little off the pace and second best here as far as possession in the second half. He'll definitely want to stifle that and try and get a better foothold in this matchup. Shalafu. Ooh, Shalafu's actually gotten to the area. Good backtracking clearance by Kobe Monte. Only one player is actually queued up at the halfway line for VIU. Make it 2 now. McKelvey has his clearance come off of Ori Fisher's body. It's put him in a bit of trouble here now as well. Bless the kind staff here at the Langara Falcons and at Willoughby Park. I've been passed another pen. I'm still alive. I'm still in the game. Triple sub coming up for VIU. It'll be the number 3, Nathan Torres, coming on. The number 19, Armin Sadhu. And the number 12, Marshall Dadzi. So Dadzi, Sadhu, and Torres on. It looks like it'll be Joliffe coming off, as well as Shalafu. So those substitutions made. Shalafu, he deserves to sit in the big chair tonight. He has not stopped running all game long. He's definitely put in a good effort. Back underway here now. 66 minutes in the books, and Langara, probably the better of the two squads in this second half, but that kind of, don't let it be misleading. I'm not saying it is misleading, but all that matters is that final score, and you feel the longer it goes 0-0, it leaves the door open for some late dramatics for either squad. So if you're a Langara Falcon fan, you probably want to see them put their foot on this one and snuff out the Mariners sooner rather than later. Ooh, a switch of play from Nakanishi. He's put Adlam in a bit of a spot, but he's gotten a bit of a forearm to the chops from Sadhu. I think that was a fair challenge, to be fair. I don't think Adlam had body position there. But maybe just a slightly raised elbow from Sadhu caught Adlam just under the chin, and the referee shows a bit of mercy there. McKelvey. Shimada and Omura looking to link up. Lewis lets the ball run between his legs, unfortunately. Shimada will win the header down for Omura. He tries to help it forward for McCall. It bounces around between the legs of Rodriguez Zagara. He couldn't really sell it. Here comes Shimada now, though. Shimada snaps in to win the ball back. He's a serious pepper pot, is Shimada. He can just spring to life at a moment's notice. He tries to smash in a low, hard cross. That's cleared and hoofed clear of the danger zone by Sadhu. Rodriguez Zagara, second best in that challenge. Josh Rayner comes away with it, and now Sadhu. The rain really coming down now, starting to spill in buckets, as I'm sure you heard the splatter of our broadcast tent after a bunch of water just got let out of it. And the wind picking up ever so slightly as well. We're going to see a substitution coming up here for Langara. They're going to bring Felipe Silva into the fray, the number 10. Of course, they are without the likes of Bajgare today as well, who's a serious chance creator, a serious game changer in the middle of the park and forward for the Falcons. Took a bit of a knock last weekend that saw him leave the Douglas matchup with an ice bag on his ankle despite having scored a goal. Rodriguez Zagara takes turns. Great little pass from McCall. Can he unleash a shot? Right-footed blast. Takes a deflection off the diving leg of Lewis. It's a good last-ditch block from the number 23 as well, who's looked helter-skelter at times, but he's always there to make a last-ditch block and keep his team in it. So well played by the number 23 of Nanaimo, the VIU Mariners. It'll be a corner kick for Beckham Hatch to come across and take. Omura will be the player to make way for the number 10, Felipe Silva. Just having trouble seeing where, oh, it's at the corner flag. I'm like, where's this free kick taking place? My eyes have deceived me. It'll be the near left corner flag. It'll be Beckham Hatch with a left-footed in-swinger. Ooh, and that's got some help to the back post. It's nodded clear by, I believe, Goldbrunner. Tidy little play out there by Goldbrunner. Shimada first to it. Felipe Silva gets it to Shimada, who's in a dicey challenge there with Bryant. Both lads come away just okay. Zagara back for McKelvey. He just couldn't get through a sea of black shirts. Charlie Smith dispossessed to the chest of McCall. Ooh, good layoff there for Charlie Smith. Can he get in between the two defenders? He has some options, though, Charlie Smith. He's got 4 white shirts in and around him. Sadhu gets there, though. Sadhu in the penalty area. Can he get inside Nakanishi? He can. Still going Sadhu. Oh, he stumbled on the ball. He almost managed to carve open Nakanishi there, but it was, I believe, the backtracking run of Takaru Kako that bailed out Nakanishi. Good play there by Sadhu, and a great bit of hold-up play and layoff from Charlie Smith, he's been isolated, and he's fought a bit of a thankless battle tonight. But at that moment, when he was needed most, he did just the right thing. Unfortunately, Sadhu came up against a very, very potent Langara defense. Bryant now gets to the inside of Monte. Mark Rozzardo screaming the width of the field to let Kobe Monty know that he needs him further up the park, and to be fair, he's not wrong. That is where Monty flourishes, when he's taking on that last line of defense and cruising towards that goal line and really making life miserable for defenders. We haven't seen that from Monty today. He's been defending a lot of the time and perhaps just playing a little bit too deep. Number 70, or I beg your pardon, minute 73. Oof, Takaru Kaku put his keeper in a bit of a position there, but thankfully the youngster was equal to the task and sussed out the danger. Rodriguez Zagara now with a bit of space to carry forward. He's asking for options. He's going to play a swooping raking ball for McCall to chase. It's a bit of a lost cause there for McCall, who always had it 10 yards ahead of him, but it actually took a deflection off of a Mariner's body, and McCall read that the whole way. They're going to try and get a quick corner going here. Beckham Hatch shows short. The ball now in play. The team in white doesn't have a ton of options. Maybe that should have been a bit of a delayed corner kick, as everybody in black was ready to defend there. Beckham Hatch tries to smash in across on the left foot. I think if Lewis had $1 for every block he's made in today's games, he'd probably at least have a free lunch. He has been putting in some great blocks inside the penalty box today. And Langara are ready to shoot too. There's been a couple really good ones, so kudos to Lewis again. Once again, I know I probably sound like his agent, but the lad's been good today. Monte cross into the area. This looks dangerous. McCall's there. Oh, and Lewis, the one time he got caught out of position, McCall just couldn't sort out his head. He was kind of going towards goal with his back to goal. He almost tried to help it over the keeper. It was a bit of an awkward looking header that was just hitting with too much pace for him to really sort out what to really do with it. And the chance goes a-begging. Good play there by McKelvey. A little bit dangerous, but it pays off. Silva tried to return it to him. McKelvey had already gotten a little bit too far up the park. About 17 minutes to go here, plus stoppage for either club to go ahead and grab a winner. Langara looking the more of the controlled two teams at the moment. But here come the Mariners. They've broken away with it. There's numbers. There's 4-on-4, perhaps even 6-on-5. The through ball just gets away from the substitute. Dadsy. If you're just joining us, 0-0 in this one. The Langara women dropping the first game of the PACWEST doubleheader today at Willoughby Park, 2-0 to VIU. This one's been a fairly tight affair. Only one real talking point. And that was a somewhat controversial offside goal scored by Beckham Hatch, where it was adjudged that Shimada was offside in the build-up. We haven't had a replay yet in the booth. He certainly looked onside, though. And it will be interesting to see the match afterwards to see if that call was the right one. Beckham Hatch goes for a shot there. That's deflected. And it'll be a corner from the right-hand side. As a left-footed in-swinger hit almost to the goal line. Carter gets there! It flies through his hands and it just lands on the head of McCall and loops up onto the net. I don't know how much McCall knew about that. I'm sure he expected Carter to get that one 100%, but it went through the clutches of the keeper off the forehead of McCall and almost nestles in the back of the net. Good back heel there by Dadsey. Through ball for Smith is onside. Smith onside. Can he drag back McKelvey? Smith, right-footed shot. He scores against the run of play. It certainly was close. It certainly was close. It was another one of those offside calls. But full credit to Smith on the finish. I said earlier in the broadcast, he's done the thankless work. He's done the real grunt work up front. He's been isolated at times, and he's hasn't had a ton to feed off of. But that time, it was breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the big man as he got opposite side McKelvey and slots home on the keeper, Clark Ismail. And similar to that Shimada goal, hints of offside, onside, was it? Definitely talking points at the end of this one, and only the replays will tell, ladies and gentlemen. Langara down 1-0. As mentioned, probably against the run of play as they've controlled this second half. No clear gilt-edged chances outside of that goal called back. And the Wall trying to go ahead and at least get one back here. Monty tries to serve it into the area. That's cleared by Coburn. Throw in the way of the Mariners. We're going to see a substitution coming up for VIU. Thomas Grez Kazuki, the number 5 coming on. "13 minutes to go here for Langara to try and find an answer." McKelvey pushed over by Dadsey. McKelvey up the park for Silva. McCall. Slide tackle interception there from Goldbrunner. Monte, he's on his bike. Ooh, great pass there. Layoff from Beckham Hatch. Silva just couldn't get around the outside of Lewis. He misplaces his pass as a result. Ball back into the path for Josh Rayner. I think if he gets a proper touch there, it might be lights out. As McKelvey now lobbying his case in that last one. He dragged back Charlie Smith, the goal scorer. And we'll have that substitution now for VIU as Grez Kazuke set to come on. That's the goal scorer, Charlie Smith, I believe, coming off here. It is. And Grez Kazuki now on. Coburn sizing up this one, and we know he does have a big boot. He might try and play it to his left. Thought he might try and slot in Brian. Instead, he goes for goal, and it's probably about a good meter or so over the bar of Clark Ismail. And the Langara Falcons now have 10 minutes plus stoppage to try and create something and perhaps snatch a winner if they can find an equalizer. We're going to see another substitution, this time for Langara. Luca Cafaro will be coming on, as will Hunter Hedges. Beckham Hatch slaps the side of the dugout. He knows how close his side were to opening the scoring. In fact, it was actually him who opened the scoring on that ball from Shimada. Still no word on if any replays were present to that one, because once again, I know it sounds like I'm having to go at the referees, but I just need to see a I won't sleep tonight until I see a replay of that one. Or the VIU goal. There were two really tight decisions here, and you love these kind of banter and talking points around soccer matches. Of course, not if you're on the losing end of things, if you're the players. That I feel for. But certainly as pundits and fans alike, we find these types of controversial talking points fascinating. Kobe Monte tries to knock down for the substitute Cafaro, just too far ahead of him. Good tackle there by Monte. Of course, this would almost be, if this result stands the way it does, it would be a pretty perfect weekend for VIU, who defeated Cap 3-0 before potentially coming out here and shutting out the Falcons at home. Adlam. Into the box. Cafaro, the closest to it. He's boxed out by Brian. Nakanishi for Rodriguez Zagara. Now Adlam tries to feather it through for Silva. That came off the backside of Dadzi. Ori Fisher in a fight with Nakanishi. Fisher comes away with it. Bryant loses control of that one just as it goes out into touch. 7 minutes plus stoppage here now for Langara to try and find an answer. Adlam plays it into the path of Cafaro. He tried to help it on for Hunter Hedges. That was cut out. McKelvey has it now at the center of the park. Dribbling McKelvey. Now for Shimada on the left touchline. He switched sides with Monte. Shimada in the box now. Falls for Silva! Just off the bar. Did he get a touch? My goodness, he did get a touch. Fantastic. Or he didn't. It actually went over the bar. I thought the keeper got a touch there. Either way, great chance there from Silva. Great intertwining play from Shimada and Rodriguez and Cafaro as well. Langara don't look like they're ready to go to bed this early. Still some signs of life. Good effort there from Silva, who's been fairly quiet since coming on. He's been in the mix for sure, but that's what I'm sure Mark Rosado will want to see from his substitutes, is some impact plays, if you will. Torres. Still going Torres, tries to get it through for Rayner, who was offside. Monte gets to the outside of his man, still going Monte. Dispossessed now, though. It's Fisher. Back for Dadzi. Sadu. Good tackle there by Monty. And McKelvey needs a bit of help here as everyone's just kind of run away from him. And Fisher lays it off for Rayner. Rayner gets past one, gets past two. A good tackle there by McKelvey. Keeps the attack at bay for now anyways. Cafaro looking to win the ball back. Good play there by Cafaro and Hedges as they team up. Silva now in the middle of the park. Plays it to his left for Shimada. Shimada has Cafaro. He gets it to him. Cafaro lets it run too far ahead of him, though. Needed to take a touch, though. Oh, remember what I said about the great staff here at Langara in the Willoughby Park? Now that phone chargers are starting to get wet up here in the booth, we're breaking out all the Ziploc bags. We're breaking out everything. It's all hands on deck up here. Foul on Shimada on the far left-hand touchline. 5 minutes to go here as Mark Rosardo is starting to get a bit antsy. And now Shimada's come down with a case of the cramps. Wonder if Mark Rosardo gets some subs off the bench. No, he's going to let Shimada continue, is he? Or will they try and go for something here? Looks like we will have a substitution. Is it Enrique Claros? It is Enrique Claros, the number 9. Maybe he has some theatrics up his sleeve. He'll come onto the park. And VIU are also going to make a substitution as well. The number 20 is going to come on, and that is Alex Christie. Rodriguez Zagara staring down the barrel of this free kick. Josh Rayner will come off for Christie. And Josh Rayner's put in a good shift today. Probably one of the better players on the park there for VIU. He's put in a full 86 minutes here. Rodriguez Zagara clips in the ball. Easy clutch and claim for Carter. Takaru Kaku was the closest to it, and even he was a couple paces behind. Ball over the top for Sadu as he caught McKelvey out of position. Perhaps he has. He keeps himself onside. McKelvey does just enough to pressure him off the ball. Now Rodriguez Zagara has it. He's gone for a bit of a wander now as well. He needs to dish this one before it becomes an issue. He does. For Nakanishi. Good take and turn there from Nakanishi. Enrique Claros now trying to open up and find the channel. Lewis keeps him at arm's length. Adlam there wanted to take that free kick quickly over the top, and he's just asking his defenders to just make the move instead of waiting. And now Nakanishi's been dispossessed. Sadu had Ori Fisher, but he turned back the other way. He keeps possession. It was actually a good play by Sadu as Ori Fisher didn't have a ton of numbers. Probably would have been playing into danger. The rain is now coming down sideways here at Willoughby Park. Throw in taken quickly there by Nathan Torres. And it's a little bit frantic now at field level as Langara know that time is of the essence, and they gotta make something out of potentially nothing here moving forward. Hedges. Well played there. He plays it off the heels of the defender Lewis, and it'll be a throw-in. Deep one for Langara. And this might be Adlam territory. They might just throw all white shirts in the boxes now and just try and heave it home. And Adlam put all he had into that one. It's knocked down. It was Bryant that was the closest to it. Adlam, can he put in a cross now? He's got more space to do so. It's too close to the 18-yard line. They needed some whip to the back post. Now Nakanishi's going to have a chance at it. That's headed clear by Coburn. Only as far as Silva. Side-footed away as far as Rodriguez Zagara. He's battling to keep it alive. He does so with Ori Fisher. Nakanishi on it now. About a minute left in regulation, plus whatever the referee fancies for extra time. McKelvey leans into a shot from probably 25 yards out on the dribble. That carries over Carter's net. Probably less than 5 minutes to go, I would guess here. I haven't seen a ton of stoppages in this second half. Probably 3 more realistically. And VIU will be in no rush to try and get this moving forward. Ball in the air. Almost one down by Goldbrunner. Now he's in a battle with McKelvey. Adlam in the right channel lifts an aerial ball. It's knotted down by Lewis. Rodriguez Zagara wins the throw-in. or receives the throw, I should say. Enrique Claros back for him. Bryant and Rodriguez coming together there. Adlam now on the ball. They need to get this ball into the area. They need to switch the side perhaps from McKelvey and Cafaro on that far side. They'll go right back to Adlam here in this right channel. Monte now. He's going to take on his man on the dribble. He's going to get around to the outside of Torres. Can he put it across, though, Monte? He does. He gets underneath it, though, and he launches it off into the supporters section, and Mark Rosardo has his head in his hands after that one. He knows that might have been the final kick of the can for the Falcons, who, despite probably being the better team with the ball at their feet tonight, look like they're about to drop a 1-0 decision to the VIU Mariners. Kaku wins that header. Straight up in the air. That needs a little bit more. Silva gets dispossessed. The pieces fall to Monty. Adlam looking for pieces now. Moving forward. Rodriguez Adar, great flick into a promising area. Claros needs to dish this. He does so to Silva. Pulled back from behind. That takes a bit of the steam out of the attack. Adlam now. Can he whip in a Hail Mary? He does. It's Hedges who gets there. As far as Silva! He has a first-time rip over the bar! Oh, he probably had time to have a touch there as well. Nobody was in front of him. Great last-ditch effort there from Langara, but I think that just might be it. It was hit on a frozen rope there from Silva, but it would just never, ever come down. It was not settling. Knotted down there by Kaku, and he maybe just got too far over top of it and actually ended up crunching the midfielder, who didn't give up any size. That was Goldbrunner. He fouled there, and Goldbrunner's, let's just say, not vertically challenged. Long raking diagonal aerial. Kaku wins this one against Bryan. It's kept alive, though, by Torres. Beg your pardon, it's actually Fisher. And this is probably the last kick of the can here for Langara if it wasn't before. Silva tries to clip it around his man. They're swarming now, the white shirts. Kaku into the middle of the park. Cleared by Goldbrunner, only as far as the halfway line. Nakanishi sees his touch just get away from him. He'll play it off to his left for McKelvey. On the dribble now. He's got Cafaro on the left-hand side if he can get there. It comes off of a white socked set of legs, and it'll be a throw-in for the Mariners. And it's going to be a yellow card for Rodriguez Zagara as well, as he gave the referee an earful there. He's still giving him an earful. He's got to get his mileage out of that yellow card. You might as well. And that'll be the full-time whistle as VIU come to the Lower Mainland and they pull the double on PACWEST Slippery Sunday, as I'm calling it. The women got a 2-0 victory over the Langara ladies, while against the run of play, and in some controversy, the VIU men take a 1-0 result over the Langara men, the Falcons, and they go undefeated for the weekend. Langara, meanwhile, victorious over Douglas. They drop this result to VIU. Thank you so much for joining us for this PACWEST doubleheader. Langara dropping both decisions to VIU. We'll be back next weekend with a full skid of games. We'll see you then. Until then, good night from Willoughby Park in Langley, BC, Canada.